So, today we're going to talk about a modern day horror story, a real tale of loss, survival, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of redemption. This is The Day My Wi-Fi Went Missing.
Okay, let me ask you something. And I want you to really, really think about it. Have you ever felt that cold, pit of your stomach, genuine fear? And look, I'm not talking about the kind of jump scare you get from a movie. I'm not even talking about that awful feeling of waiting for your exam results to load. No, this is something way deeper. Yeah, that kind of fear, the one where for a split second your heart just stops and you're left in this state of pure disconnected shock. So yeah, get comfortable. Because this is the harrowing tale of what was, without a doubt, the darkest day of my life. All right, so where does our story begin? Well, like any good tragedy, right? It all starts in a moment of complete peace, a time of total, blissful ignorance right before everything just fell apart. I mean, you know the vibe. It was a perfect Saturday morning. Birds were literally chirping, the sun's coming through the window, life was good. I woke up, did that big fake commercial stretch, and I grabbed my phone for the sacred morning scroll. And then, I got nothing. No new posts, no messages, not a single meme. Just that spinning wheel. You know the one, that little circle of doom. At first I'm like, okay, it's just thinking. But after like 30 seconds, I knew. It wasn't thinking, it was mocking me. And that, my friends, is when the panic started to set in. It was like a speed run through the first few stages of pure chaos, starting with denial and, well, it ended with a pretty big irony problem. So, of course, I immediately went into the ancient troubleshooting ritual. You know the drill. First the classic Wi-Fi off, Wi-Fi on, nothing. Then I physically moved closer to the router, as if my presence would somehow inspire it. Still nothing. I think I even stood on one leg for a second, just in case. And finally, I actually whispered, please, to a little plastic box. I decided I had to get serious, so I went to inspect the router. And that's when I saw it. The blinking red light of death. My brain immediately goes, okay, just Google what that means. And then it hit me. Oh, right. I can't use the internet to figure out why I don't have internet. The ultimate catch-22. Totally defeated, I walk into the living room and my family is just talking to each other with no screens involved. It was unsettling. I look at my mom, the stress is probably all over my face, and I say the 5 words that can bring any modern household to its knees. The Wi-Fi is not working. And her response? She just looks up at me and says, so? One word, and in that moment, I realized we were not on the same page, not even in the same book. Okay, so my family was no help. It was time to call in the professionals. This was it, the desperate call for help. A plea to the outside world that, honestly, led to a pretty surprising revelation. I called customer support, and you know how it goes. Your call is very important to us. And then bam, 18 solid minutes of the worst elevator music you have ever heard in your life. Seriously, if my call's so important, why am I in this musical purgatory? Finally, a human voice. So I'm explaining the situation, describing the blinking lights like I'm reporting a UFO sighting. And of course, they ask, sir, have you tried restarting it? Yes, I have. And then, after all that, they just casually drop this little nugget. There seems to be an outage in your area. Wait, an outage? You're telling me this whole time it wasn't my fault? Oh, the relief was it was incredible. I hadn't broken the internet. I was a victim. So, now what? I knew there was nothing I could do. I was powerless. And so I had to confront this brand new reality, life without the internet. And what came next was a journey from deep, deep depression to a very strange kind of acceptance. And believe me, I went through all the stages. In that first hour, it was pure denial. Oh, it'll come back any minute. Then came the anger. Why me, of all people? Then came bargaining, where I literally made a deal with my router that I never stream in 4K again. By hour 3, depression had set in. I was just staring out a window thinking, this is it. This is my life now. And then, finally, hour 4, acceptance. I actually thought to myself, maybe I'll clean my room. And I did it. I actually cleaned my room. And you won't believe what I found.
I'm talking stuff I lost back in 2019. I found that one sock that's been missing since last winter. I even found peace for like 3 minutes. Then I went to check on the router again. Still red.
But then, just when all hope seemed lost, after what felt like an eternity in the analog wilderness, came the glorious return. The moment when life, finds a way. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see it. A flash. That evil red light on the router. It flickered and turned green. A glorious, beautiful, angelic green. I just froze. Was this real? I grabbed my phone, hit refresh, and everything loaded. All at once. It was beautiful. And that's when I understood. Wi-Fi isn't just about internet access. It needs a whole new definition. It's our entertainment, it's our work, it's how we talk to each other, and let's be real, it's basically our emotional support system. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, that day taught me a pretty important lesson. We honestly do not realize how valuable Wi-Fi is, this invisible magic that runs our entire lives, until it's just gone. Which brings me to my final question for you. Think about your own horror stories, your own tales from the digital wilderness. What's your record? How long have you survived without the internet? Go ahead and let us know. We're all warriors.